We have a story to tell you.
A story of success.
A story of people's hopes and dreams.
A story that started with our first trip to Zambia back in 2012.
During our needs assessment, we met with farmers,
school leaders,
village elders,
and tribal headmen.
And we heard the same key themes.
We can't feed ourselves.
We don't have clean drinking water.
We need more ways to make money.
And now we want to show you the success of transferring knowledge by training trainers.
We want to show you the results when a project is scaled.
We want to show you how empowered farmers are changing their lives through entrepreneurship.
Our first goal was to help them achieve food security.
To create food security, we teach farmers no-till farming.
No-till farming is a way of growing crops without disturbing the soil through plowing.
It keeps water and nutrients in the soil.
We teach proper seed planting depth, seed spacing, and row spacing, all key principles of no-till farming that create a vast increase in crop production.
To make our work scalable and sustainable, we had to transfer our knowledge to the farmers, and our focus has been on training Zambian trainers.
Before our team taught no-till farming, Zambian farmers had yields of 27 50-kilogram bags of corn.
This year, because of no-till farming, they are now harvesting an average of 145 bags per hectare.
Profit has increased from an average of $300 per hectare to an average of $1,400 this year.
That's a 5.3 times increase in yield and 4.9 times increase in profits.
So how many farmers did we train this year? 0.
That's right. We didn't train a single farmer this year.
For 8 years, we have worked towards this moment, a fully scaled and sustained project with over 500 trainers trained.
This is the year after 30 trips to Zambia. We have passed full control of our farming project over to the Zambians.
This is the year we have been working towards for 8 years.
And the Zambians are ready to take full ownership.
On their own, they added 41,500 new farmers to the project this year.
That's 41,500 farmers earning $1,400 per hectare.
That's 41,500 farmers earning almost $61 million on their own.
With food security achieved, our farmers were ready to tackle building their economy using the business development skills we taught them.
Farmers are not getting value for their crops, and too often their crops are exported to other countries.
We wanted to stop this, and so we taught farmers how to add value to the raw materials they are growing.
We taught them how to add value so they could capture all or part of the value chain, dramatically increasing their profits.
This past summer, we expanded our food production business, building 2 new facilities that process the corn using a hammer mill and a huller.
We trained an additional 51 new entrepreneurs how to set up collection depots, enabling them to buy corn from local farmers.
The corn is then processed to make, samp, and millie meal, both food staples in Zambia.
These value-added products are then sold back into the community for consumption.
On average, each of the 51 small businesses is selling 1,100 50-kilogram bags at an average profit of $6.95 per bag.
That's just under $7,800 profit per entrepreneur in communities that typically survive on less than $1 per day.
To add context to what $7,800 means to a farmer, tuition at school costs $650 per year for 6 kids.
A sturdy bicycle is $90.
And a 3-bedroom home can be built for $6,000.
$7,800 goes a long way in Zambia.
We also started another business last summer.
95% of Zambian cotton is exported to other countries.
To stop this, we had farmers build a small cotton ginnery, spinning cotton into yarn.
41 farmers are now spinning their own cotton into yarn instead of exporting it.
Raw cotton is sold for 36 cents per pound, but by adding value, farmers are now selling yarn for 90 cents per pound.
More than doubling their revenue.
This year, 122,000 pounds of yarn has been sold,
increasing revenue to $110,000 while stopping raw cotton exports.
Our farmers, on their own, saved their money to build these projects.
And they are so proud.
Do you know how it is like to be poor? Do you know how it feels that you live without food? Do you know how it is that you live without hope? Thanks to the Enactus Lambton, who gave us the knowledge that we are able now to have hope, dignity, and have food on our table. We are able to feed our families. We are able to grow the economy. That was the dream we were scared of, but now we are achieving it. Thanks up to Lambton.
We have been invited in September to present our work to the United Nations.
We hope to inspire more people and give them hope.
And show them they can also bring their dreams to life.
Now it's time to expand.
It's time for a new challenge.
It is time to bring our project home.
Canada has over 600 First Nations, representing more than 1.3 million people.
People living in First Nations struggle with many of the same challenges as our friends in Zambia.
To help First Nations with these challenges, we launched Project One Circle in July.
We conducted needs assessments in many First Nations.
Meeting with band members, hereditary leaders, community elders, elected chiefs, and council.
We asked a lot of questions, and we learned.
We listened, and then together we built programs to address their goals.
We are extremely honored that we are already working with 16 First Nations.
And incredibly, 14 of the 16 First Nations proactively contacted us first.
Let us take you through some of the exciting projects already underway.
First Nations need the knowledge and skills to build their own economies.
We decided to fill this gap by building entrepreneurial capacity.
We teach entrepreneurship and business financial literacy.
Already, 46 entrepreneurs in multiple First Nations have been trained.
To ensure lasting sustainability and scalability, we are also training First Nations trainers.
We wrote the book for this project, and I mean, we literally wrote the book.
We spent last summer writing our own entrepreneurship textbook, and it is about to be published and will be available to anyone for free on the Ontario Colleges portal.
Here are just a few of our success stories from the 46 entrepreneurs we trained this year.
This is Will Paul from Lytton First Nation in British Columbia. Will has an amazing spice called Fear the Heat that he grows, packages, and sells.
Working with us, Will has improved his production, supply chain, marketing, and sales strategies.
And Will has quintupled his production and profits.
This is Deborah Moccasin from Whitecap Dakota First Nation in Saskatchewan.
Deborah stands 5 feet tall, and so the name of her business is One Tiny Moccasin.
Deborah makes First Nations clothing, and we're helping Deborah expand into new markets, increasing her sales and revenue.
But what we really want to highlight is Deborah's giving spirit.
Deborah decided to make face masks for first responders.
She has already produced 212 masks.
And she is giving them away for free.
This is the spirit of Enactus at its best.
The final project we would like to highlight today is the coolest project we have ever developed.
During our needs assessment conducted with 7 First Nations near Saskatoon, we uncovered a common goal shared among all 7 nations.
They want to repopulate bison on the plains of Saskatchewan.
Bison are an important symbol to First Nations and an important connection First Nations people have to their land.
Bison sustained a way of life for First Nation people for thousands of years.
They were a main food source, their hides used for teepees and clothing, and their bones were fashioned into tools.
We have developed a plan to begin returning bison to the plains,
Re-establishing traditional food security while restoring their cultural importance to First Nation people.
We also learned global demand for commercial production of bison is currently 100% higher than supply.
There is a tremendous demand for bison products, and this presents an opportunity to create new businesses and badly needed employment within First Nations.
At one time, 30 to 60 million bison grazed across open grasslands, and they were the key in maintaining prairie ecosystems.
By 1888, none were left.
And our prairies are one of the world's most endangered habitats, disappearing off the face of the earth faster than the Amazon rainforest and the Great Barrier Reef.
More than 70% of Canada's prairie grasslands are gone.
The return of bison will play a critical role in improving our environment.
They are critical in regenerating vegetation.
As bison forage, they aerate the soil with their hooves,
Dispersing the seeds of grasses, plants, and wildflowers, creating a diverse mosaic of habitats which are critical to the survival of countless wildlife species.
Many of which have already declined significantly in number or have already disappeared.
Culturally and economically, our bison project is about to make a huge impact on the prairies.
We are proud of the projects we have launched in First Nations.
And Project One Circle continues to expand into more First Nations.
At times, our work is daunting,
But the impact we are creating keeps us motivated.
And we have worked very hard at developing meaningful relationships.
A lot of times when a consultant comes into an Indigenous community, the relationship is purely transactional. We give them some money, they turn around and give us a strategic plan or some type of report. There's very little substance to the relationship that's there, if there is any relationship at all. The team at Enactus Lambton has a refreshing approach to community engagement, and it really is a masterclass in how consultation with Indigenous communities should be done. In the short time that they've been working with our communities, we've built meaningful friendships. We've sat around the table and shared meals while we laughed. We've cried healing tears together. And most importantly, they've planted seeds of hope for our community's futures. The team at Enactus Lambton really proves that the word reconciliation can be more than just a buzzword. They are reconciliation in action.
we're honored to be a small part of reconciliation.
Many moments of the past create actions of the future.
Nothing can change history, but through reconciliation built on understanding, trust, and commitment, our team can be a small part in changing the future.
We are Enactus Lambton.